Well guys, we are nearly there. Lakers playoff action tomorrow night. Game 1 between the Lakers and the T-Wolves should be an incredibly fun and probably a very intense matchup. I mean, anytime you got Anthony Edwards on the court, probably a bunch of trash talk, a whole bunch of back and forth, and between him, LeBron, Luka Doncic, a whole bunch of talented guys after that, it should be an incredibly fun and definitely a high-strung matchup between them. But up until this point, while we've talked plenty about the Lakers offense and a whole lot about guys like Luka Doncic, how they'll attack the T-Wolves defense and maybe take advantage of them, or even talking about the Lakers X Factor or X Factors, how about the other side of that? Talking more about the Wolves offense here, more about Anthony Edwards and how the Lakers might be able to stop him or slow down their offense in general. What will it take to make that happen? What kind of defensive scheme or tactics should they throw at them or maybe should think about throwing at him? Or their entire offense in general. After all, they were a top 8 offense this season, do have a very good 3-point shooting team, and obviously the head of the snake here, being Ant, is a very dangerous opponent. So what strategy should they try to employ against him and the entire Timberwolves offense? We'll talk about that and try to break it all down here. And well, to begin, a frequently asked question I've seen in about defending Anthony Edwards is, will the Lakers double team him? Will they kind of blitz him? Will they play him one-on-one, or what will they do against him? Definitely hard to say for sure, but a question asked by JJ Redick or to JJ Redick during practice yesterday did kind of hint at what they might do or what they might plan to do, and here's what he had to say about it.
We talked about Anthony Edwards yesterday, his pull-up shooting, or just free shooting overall, something that he's grown with the past couple seasons. What have you made of his growth as a playmaker, particularly when you make teams do some other?
Yeah, I've seen enough over the last 2-3 months, either in the last few days or just from watching games. He's become a very willing passer, and I think the makeup of their team allows him to just get off the ball because they can hurt you in so many ways. When you do put 2 on the ball with him, then eventually you're going to go back to single coverage. I mean, that's what makes their team so dangerous. They can play a lineup with Randall, Reed, DiVincenzo, Alexander Walker, and him, where you have a lot of defense and you have a lot of shooting. So, a lot of optionality.
I know that might have been a bit hard to make out, but basically what he talked about and was asked about here is defending Ant and the Wolves offense one-on-one, or throwing double teams at them, and how that does tend to work out for a team. And well, if you listened and heard him here, he did kind of refer to double teams not working, and eventually a defense having to go back to single coverage, which is likely what they will do against him and the Wolves offense. Not really working out with double teams because of their 3-point shooting, because of Ant's ability to get around them, and really the way that they operate on offense, double teams not really being the way to go here. And well, if you do remember their last matchup, or any 4 of their matchups against Ant this season, they did not throw many double teams at him. Yes, maybe the occasional blitz, hitting the nail on him if he got past his initial defender, or obviously playing help coverage at the rim against him, but not in the traditional sense, not throwing 2 defenders at him outside the 3-point line, not consistently throwing 2 guys at him. That's not what they did, and it ultimately worked out pretty well for them. In their 4 games against Ant this season, believe it or not, they did hold him to under 20 points per game. Against them, he averaged 19 points, 6.3 rebounds, 3 assists, and only shot about 40% from the field, averaging out to 40% flat, and then only 32.3% from beyond the arc, while attempting nearly 8 3-point shots per game. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Compared to usual, the guy puts up about 28 points per game, and not to mention on 45% for the field and 39.5% 3-point shooting, his season average from this season. So averaging only 19 points on 32% 3-point shooting is definitely a good trend against him. So if they can replicate that or anything close to it, then they definitely have a good defensive outlook this series. But with that in mind here, how do they do it, or how do they replicate what they did against him? And well, kind of what I hinted at before here, not double teaming him, but providing help in the right spots in the court, and not completely laying off other guys, as that definitely could hurt them too. Like I mentioned, the T-Wolves were a good offense this season, having a top 8 offense and plenty of good 3-point shooting around Ant. including guys like Jaden McDaniels, a 40% three-point shooter, Mike Conley, albeit declining, also a very good three-point shooter. Off the bench, a guy like Nas Reed, also a very good floor spacer and three-point shooter. And then for guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dante DiVincenzo, also very deadly from beyond the arc. So no, you can't flat out double team him and try to force other guys around him to hurt you, as they definitely will, and especially from the three-point line too. But the problem here, and especially early on, does happen to be the matchup for him, with the Lakers having the option of Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, Rui Hachimura, or LeBron James. That's not a particularly great one-on-one matchup. So how do they overcome it? Once again, probably trying to pick and choose when they double team him or kind of blitz him on the court. Not doing the direct double teams, but throwing a little bit of help at him at a timely spot, and when he does try to make his move toward the rim. Much like on this play, for example, here we have Rui Hachimura taking on the primary matchup on Ant, but he definitely is not doing it alone here. After Ant does try to make his move toward the rim, driving past Hachimura, then he meets up with Austin Reeves, who's offering help here, briefly leaving his matchup on Mike Conley to offer that help, which LeBron kind of counteracts by sinking down a little bit and not making it a direct pass from Ant to Mike Conley over the top. And after Austin offers help here and they combine to stop Ant's drive toward the rim, then Austin immediately goes back to his matchup, again that being Mike Conley, and with LeBron and Luke offering help over the top, Ant's not able to make that pass and gives Austin enough time to get back to his matchup, which they would likely do against him again this time around, not doing the direct double team, but offering help, especially when he tries to make a move toward the rim. And even after a guy like Vanderbilt comes off the bench, either Vanderbilt or Dorian Finney-Smith will be taking on that matchup, but they would likely replicate that defensive coverage in some form or fashion. Yes, Vanderbilt can take on that matchup one-on-one, can be a bothersome pest, and even at times stop Anthony Edwards, but they're not going to completely rely on it. Anytime Ant gets by him or then draws the pick and roll to get off of Vanderbilt or Finney-Smith, they're still going to do the same thing, playing that one-on-one defense, but the help defender's never far away. As soon as Ant makes his move toward the rim, then they're going to bring that help and force him to give the ball up. Not the all-out blitz, not getting too far away from their matchup to where they can't recover. If Ant would make the right pass and get them open, they're not going to do that, and rightfully so as well, even with a guy like Jared Vanderbilt or Dorian Finney-Smith defending him, which I think has worked out pretty well for them and hopefully will again in this series too. And well, they definitely do have the defensive personnel to do it with. That's kind of why they prefer a small ball lineup, to offer that kind of help and make some pretty far defensive rotations, but still be quick enough to rotate back on defense and not give up completely wide open shots. Much like on those plays, or then on this play for example, once again with Jared Vanderbilt defending Ant tries to drive past him, and then LeBron immediately offers help, not completely going off his matchup and still being close enough to recover, but being able to offer help not one time, but actually twice here. Once on the initial drive to the rim, then again after Ant kind of fakes the drive back to the three-point line, then immediately turns around and goes back toward the rim. LeBron's there to offer help twice and still be close enough to recover on his own matchup. Or once again, the same thing here, Dorian Finney-Smith matching up with Ant this time, but definitely not doing it alone. Behind him, we have Vanderbilt hitting the nail every time Ant makes a move toward the rim or appearing to make a move toward the rim, offering help behind Dorian Finney-Smith on the right side. Or then on the left side, LeBron's not far away, and every time Ant makes a move, LeBron's kind of twitching to move up to offer help, so no matter what way he goes, left or right, and not only on this play but likely every play in the future in this series, there will be help behind him. Now I'm definitely not saying it's an easy defense, and especially not against a guy like Ant. You gotta be close enough to offer help, but also not get too far away to where you can't recover on defense, or get beat backdoor, or lose your guy along the three-point line and then get them wide open for a three-point shot. Gotta be very diligent, very quick to recover, and have great communication on the court too. Which up until this point the Lakers have done very well. That's kind of why they fully committed to that small ball lineup. Between the communication, the chemistry on the court on defense, and learning how to play defense like this against guys like Ant, that's why they've done it and why they become so good at it too. And well, if you don't want to take it from me, take it directly from a TWolves player. Here's Nickeil Alexander-Walker talking about it, saying what Ant had to say to their team and the help he needs from them in this series and with the Lakers defense that they're going to play against him, likely hinting at what I talked about, the help defense they'll play on him, forcing him to give the ball up but not directly double teaming him, and that he needs guys to step up around him. And here's what Alexander Walker had to say directly about it.
Ant been like this week?
Intense.
motivated, determined. You can see that he's really imposing his leadership and getting guys involved, very, very vocal, and giving out confidence for what to expect. I think it's important that all of us have that mindset of being ready, staying ready, and his preparation is always going to be his preparation. That hasn't went up or dropped. He's very consistent in that. I think where he's really, really stepped up is just making sure as a leader, as a teammate, that we understand, and he's kind of humbly taking that step back to say, listen, this might not be the Ant series because I'm going to need you guys because of how they're going to play me and X, Y, and Z, but I'm prepared to, he's going to be aggressive, he's going to be Ant. That's not a doubt, but making sure everyone is right there with him. Like, kind of all of us as one getting to that goal, that finish line together, picking everybody up, each other up, which is going to be huge, especially when you start the series on the road.
Like I said, Ant definitely knows it. They played pretty good defense on him up until this point, and definitely have bothered him a bit too. Between the help coverage, between guys like Jared Vanderbilt and Dorian Finney-Smith, and the Lakers' super quick rotation on defense with their small ball lineup, they've been pretty effective against him, and Ant definitely sees it coming too. But even with that, it won't be easy to replicate. They gotta be very diligent on defense, have great communication, and rotations to be able to replicate that for an entire 7-game series. And with that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the Lakers defense and how they might be able to match up with the T-Wolves and specifically against Anthony Edwards? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.